Up next on Inspiring Beauty and Believers.
It was in leaving that situation that I really was able to start on my journey of finding me and finding who it is God created me to be. And I could have never done that in staying in that broken place. Hey, everybody, good afternoon. It's me, Song. I wanted to get on and I wanted to just share something with you guys today. And I hope that it encourages you. As some of you may know, I am an author and I have written 4 books now. So I'm going to share something from my book, Growing Pains. And then I'm going to share with you what I came to say. So this is from chapter 1. I gave up everything. When my marriage ended, I was lost for words. I couldn't believe that I was becoming a statistic. It wasn't as if my marriage was great, but somewhere in my mind, I believed I could get past the cheating and abuse as long as I knew I had a home for my son and me. Now I'm driving away, trying to convince myself that this was the best decision for us. I didn't want my baby to be subjected to the screaming and fighting or seeing me cry. I grew up in that house, so I already knew the toll it would take on a child. But how in the world would I make it on my own? I was beyond petrified. Somehow I had to trust God in this, even though I didn't want to trust anyone. I grew up in church and I didn't know a lot of God's word. All I knew was God said it was time to go. And he promised me he would take care of me. I knew he had a purpose for my life and it had to be more than this. So I just wanted to come on and share with you guys. Sometimes you may be in a situation in life like I was, where you seem like you're in the bottom of the pit, like everything is lost. You have to walk away from everything in order to keep your sanity. But it does not mean that you're out. It does not mean that it's the end of your story or that your life is over. Obviously, it wasn't the end of my story because, yes, I did have to go through a divorce. And it was not one of the things that I really ever wanted to do. It was actually one of the hardest things I've ever done because I did not want to be a statistic. I did not want to be the divorced mom. And it was like a stigma that I just never wanted to have to carry. But it was in leaving that situation that I really was able to start on my journey of finding me and finding who it is God created me to be. And I could have never done that in staying in that broken place and staying in that pit, that dark place that I was, that place of abuse, that place of depression, that place of suicidal thoughts, that place of not knowing my self-worth or knowing what God has called me to do, or that place of fear and just being afraid of the what ifs if I leave this situation. Is it going to be worse on the other side than what I'm already going through? And in that time, I've grown to really learn how to love me. And that was my first divorce. I have been divorced twice. If you follow me on YouTube, you have seen my videos where I talk about going through a divorce a second time and what I've learned in that about healing myself so that I don't attract those same type of people. But I want to give you hope that it is possible to come out of that situation and not let that define you of who you are. Yes, I am a divorced woman 2 times. I am a single mother of 3 children, but I am also so much more than that. And I've had so much success in my life that surpasses the pain that I've gone through. And I've actually been able to use my story to help encourage other people. Other people who have gotten that book has said that it's helped them in their times where they needed to really evaluate what was going on in their lives and find their way back to God and find their their true identity of who God has called them to be and learn how to love themselves. And it takes so from my first divorce, I learned that I loved my child enough to walk away. And it wasn't even, necessarily because I wanted to do it, because again, like I said in the first chapter, in the first paragraph, I grew up in that household where abuse was normal. So prior to my son being born, it was normal for us to fight. But the first time it happened in front of my son, I just knew I could not continue to go on like that, because I didn't want him to have to live through that and see that over and over again. My second divorce, I had learned to love me more. And I understood this was not a healthy relationship to be in or to raise kids in. So sometimes we walk away from things because we're trying to protect the people around us. And then sometimes we get to the place where we realize we have to protect ourselves too. It's easy for us to say, well, I'm doing it for someone else. But when do you get to the place where you're going to do it for yourself? And that's what I've done in my life. And that's what I'm now helping other people to do, to get to that place where you say, I'm sick and tired of going through these things, and I'm ready to be who I'm called to be. I'm ready to grow out of this. I'm ready to find myself and be the mother, the woman, the whoever it is that you're called to be, the author, the speaker, the, songwriter, the poet, whatever it is that you're called to be, whatever your purpose is. I want to get you and help you to get to that place so that you're not struggling in this seat of depression and low self-worth, and ultimately to help you with being able to get past what has happened in your relationship so that you can be a better parent to your child, and then help break that generational curse of toxic relationships and toxic parenting and toxic co-parenting. So if you're interested in more information, go ahead and drop a comment below. You guys have a great day. I love you.